6 reasons why people are moving to Boise, Idaho in 2026. So if you've been telling yourself that the window to move to Boise, Idaho already closed, stick with me because 2026 might just prove you wrong. Right now, more people are packing up and heading to the Treasure Valley than almost anywhere else in the country. And it's not for the reason that most folks assume. It's not only the cheaper homes, it's not only the mountains. Today I'm breaking down the 6 real reasons people are moving to Boise in 2026, what the cost of living here actually looks like, what is really happening with the Boise housing market, and the one thing almost every new buyer gets wrong before they ever arrive. By the time this video is over, you will know exactly whether Boise is the right move for you. So let's get into it. Chapter 1. Your money goes further in Boise. This is the Boise housing market in 2026. Let me start with the reason that pulls most people here in the first place, and that's simple. Your money buys more in Boise. Before I go into the numbers, here's where I'm coming from. I have been a real estate agent here in the Treasure Valley for almost 20 years. And in that time, I have sat at the closing table with families moving from Seattle, the Bay Area, Southern California, and a dozen places in between. So when I talk about why people move here, I'm not guessing. I'm watching it happen every single week. Here's what the numbers say. According to Redfin, the median sale price of a home in Boise was about $525,000 over the 3 months ending in May 2026. Which was up just under 2% from a year earlier. Now you might also see a slightly different figure floating around. Zillow lists the typical Boise home value closer to $503,000, and that gap isn't a mistake. Redfin measures homes that are actually sold, while Zillow estimates the value of every home, whether it's sold or not. So the two are rarely going to match dollar for dollar. Either way, the story is the same. Boise is steady, not spiraling. And now compare that to where buyers are coming from. According to Redfin's migration data, more home buyers searched to move into Boise from Seattle than any other city in the country, followed next by Los Angeles and San Francisco. When a family sells a small condo in the Bay Area, where a typical home runs well over $1 million, and lands in a Boise neighborhood with a yard and a garage and a view of the foothills, that's not just a better deal. That's a different way of living. And that is the feeling of finally exhaling. So affordability gets people in the door, but it is what is waiting for them once they arrive that makes them want to stay. Which brings me to reason number 2, and that is a booming job market and the Micron effect. Boise jobs in 2026. Here's something that a lot of people don't realize about Boise. We're not a sleepy town that you retire to. It's a city with a real growing economy, and the jobs are following the people. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Idaho's unemployment rate sat at 3.7% in May of 2026, while the national rate was 4.3%. In plain terms, it's easier to find work here than in most other parts of the country. And then there is the giant in the room, Micron. The building is enormous, and the number of people that are coming here to build it and eventually to work here is significant. According to Micron and Idaho Commerce, the company is building new memory chip fabrication plants in Boise as part of one of the largest private investments in Idaho's history. That single project is expected to create roughly 2,000 direct jobs at Micron, plus thousands more across construction and the wider community. The first plant is expected to be finished this year, 2026, with the first chips rolling out in 2027. When a company makes a bet that big on a city, it tells you something about where that city is headed. And Micron isn't alone. Boise is home to HP, the headquarters of Albertsons, a growing roster of tech and finance companies, 2 major hospital systems, and Boise State University. Remember the blue turf? So whether you work in tech, healthcare, the trades, or you're bringing a remote job with you, there's a real economy to plug into. That means you're not just buying a house here, you're building a future here. Several years ago, as our area started to grow, really, in order to sustain the prices in our housing market, we had to depend on people moving here from out of state. With the balancing of our housing market and the strength of our jobs, really, Idaho and Boise in particular has become a market that can grow and build within itself. not as dependent on new people moving in from out of state. A strong job market is wonderful, but it only matters if you actually get to keep what you earn. So let's talk about taxes and the true cost of living. Taxes are a big deal. Lower taxes and a friendlier cost of living in Boise, Idaho. This is the part that quietly wins people over, especially folks coming from higher tax states. According to the Idaho State Tax Commission, Idaho uses a flat income tax rate of 5.3%. One simple rate, no complicated brackets to untangle. And for retirees, here's a nice one. Social Security benefits are not taxed at the state level in Idaho. Keep all of your Social Security. Property taxes are gentle here too. According to Smart Asset, Idaho's median effective property tax rate is around 0.3%, while the national median is closer to 0.89%. On a typical home, that difference adds up year after year. Overall, the cost of living in the Boise area hits still below the national average, which means a dollar earned here tends to stretch a little further than the same dollar in California or Washington. Now let me give you the honest, balanced picture because this is how I do things. Idaho does charge sales tax on groceries, which surprises some newcomers. The state offsets that with a grocery tax credit that you can claim on your return, but it is worth knowing going in. The point is not that Boise is free. The point is that for most families, the math simply works better here. And when the math works, life gets a little less stressful. So we've covered 3 big reasons already. Your money goes further, the jobs are here, and taxes are kinder. Here's the part that most people miss. Affordability, jobs, and taxes are the reasons that people move to Boise. But they're not the reasons that people fall in love with Boise and never want to leave. That comes down to the next reason. And the one after it just might be the most important of all if you're buying in 2026. Because the timing right now is catching a lot of newcomers completely off guard. In a good way. Before I get there, if you're even thinking about making this move, I put together a free Treasure Valley relocation guide that walks you through neighborhoods, school zones, commute times, we do have those now, and what to expect from start to finish. It's the same guide I hand my own clients, so grab it from the link in the description so that you have it ready when you start your search. All right, let's keep going. This is chapter 4, the lifestyle you cannot put a price on, living here in Boise, Idaho. Let me just paint a picture. When we decided to move here, my husband was just he'd finished college, he had had his first job, and he was looking like where in the country would he want to live. My husband's kind of analytical, and he had an A axis and a B axis, and he said all of the things that different places offer and all of the things that were important to him. And out of, I think he had 20 items. Yeah, he's a detail guy. He had 20 items on each place. And Boise, Idaho was the place that we picked intentionally for a place to raise our family, good work opportunities, cost of living, all of that. Boise won, that was in 1991, and I would choose it again today. So you finish work on a Tuesday, you're gonna lace up your shoes, and within minutes you can be hiking in the Boise foothills with the whole valley spread out below you. On Saturday, you might float the Boise River, which runs right through the middle of town. In the winter, Bogus Basin Ski Resort is only about a half-hour drive from downtown, so you can ski in the morning and be home for dinner. And the Boise River Greenbelt, that gives you miles of paved pathway connecting parks, neighborhoods, and the city itself. I live in Meridian. It takes me 30 minutes to drive to Boise. I can just as easily get on my e-bike on the Greenbelt in Meridian and also be to downtown Boise in 30 minutes. It is spectacular. This is a place with 4 real seasons where the outdoors is not a vacation that you have to save up for. It's your everyday backyard, and people are noticing. The Boise airport keeps breaking passenger records, which is just one more sign of a city that more and more people want to be in. Our airport is expanding currently. When folks tell me why they truly love it here, they rarely lead with the home prices. They talk about slower mornings, more time outside, and a feeling that they got their life back. You can't put a number on that, but it might be the most valuable thing on the entire list. Of course, lifestyle is the heart, but if you're buying or selling this year, the smart question is always about timing. So let's talk about what the market is actually doing right now. I'm going to call this Chapter 5, a calmer, more balanced market for 2026, the Boise real estate market. If your only memory of Boise real estate is the wild bidding wars of 2021, those were crazy times. And I have good news. Things have definitely calmed down, and that calm is an opportunity. According to Redfin, homes in Boise were still selling in roughly 2 weeks over the spring of 2026 and often getting multiple offers. So this is by no means a slow market, but inventory has been climbing, which means buyers finally have more choices and a little more room to breathe. In the peak of the crazy market in, let's say, early 2021, there were times that our whole county had less than 100 homes for sale at the end of any given month. Now we probably have 1,400 to 1,600 homes for sale. So people are buying and selling homes. The days on market is not that long, but we've got real inventory so people don't have to be hectic in making a decision. You may see other local trackers report homes sitting closer to 3 or 4 weeks. And that's not a contradiction. The difference usually comes down to the exact month or the specific neighborhood, how each company counts the data. Zoom out and the trend is clear. The frenzy has definitely eased into something much healthier. Do you still lose out on an offer sometimes? Yeah, you do. Do you still have to wait for the right buyer to come for a home that is being listed? Yes, that happens too. But by and large, we can find you the home that you're looking for, and we can find the right buyer for your home as well. According to the National Association of Realtors, mortgage rates were expected to ease toward roughly 6% through 2026, which could give buyers a little more breathing room on your monthly payments. Now, let me be very clear, because you will hear a lot of noise out there. This is not a crash. This is a return to balance. Prices have held steady to slightly up. Homes are still selling, and a more balanced market simply means you get time to inspect, to negotiate, and to make a confident decision instead of a panicked one. For a buyer, that's a gift. For a seller, well-prepared homes, that's super important, that are priced right, are still moving and moving well. That balance leads me right into the final reason, and it's the one that ties the whole valley together, honestly. Chapter 6 is real growth with room to choose. The different Treasure Valley towns that we have. So Boise is not just growing, it is growing in a way that gives you options. According to the U.S. Census Bureau with data compiled by the Idaho Department of Labor, Idaho's population climbed to about 2.03 million, making it one of the 2 fastest growing states in the nation by percentage in the most recent estimates. The Boise metro area grew by around 2.2%, ranking among the fastest growing in the entire country, adding more than 50 new residents a day in 2025. But here is what makes the Treasure Valley special. You're not stuck with one version of Boise life. If you want upscale and roomy, Eagle is calling your name. If you want newer construction and family-friendly streets, Meridian is booming. If you want more home for your dollar, Nampa and Middleton are worth a serious look. If you want that small town feel, thank you for a shout out to Kuna. That keeps its charm. If you want to be close to the action and a bit of an artsy edge, Garden City sits right next to downtown Boise. Whatever the life you are picturing, there is a corner of this valley that fits it. And my job is simply to help you find your corner. And like I said, for me, when I moved here back in 1991, when you're coming from somewhere else, you just don't know what all of those different neighborhoods and markets are and what they can offer you. So talk to an experienced real estate agent that has been in the valley for a long time selling homes. I would love to help you. Let's have a quick wrap up here. As we bring this all home, people are moving to Boise in 2026 for 6 clear reasons. Your money goes further here than in most feeder cities. The job market is strong, anchored by huge investments like Micron. The taxes and cost of living are friendlier on your budget. And 4, the outdoor lifestyle gives you back your time. The market has shifted into a calmer, more balanced moment that actually favors thoughtful buyers. And the whole Treasure Valley is growing in a way that lets you choose the exact life you want. From Boise and Eagle to Meridian, Kuna, Nampa, Middleton, and Garden City. Affordability gets people here. Everything else, though, is why they stay. Here's what I want you to take away. Boise's story is not over, that's for sure. It has been growing every day since I moved here nearly 35 years ago. It's just entering a smarter, steadier chapter, and that might be the best news a buyer or a seller has heard in years. If any of these 6 reasons hit home with you, don't try to figure this move out alone. I live here, I work here, and I help people land here every single week. So here's your next step. Grab the free Treasure Valley Relocation Guide. It is awesome. It is linked in the description, and then reach out to me directly. I raised my children here. I worked here, my husband has worked here. Whether you are 6 months out or just curious, I'll give you an honest, local, no pressure answers about your specific location. I always say I want to get you the information you need so that you can make a good decision when the time is right for you. Go ahead and comment below and tell me where you're moving from, because I read everyone and I love seeing where my future neighbors are coming from. If this video helped, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'm Barb Dopp, your local Treasure Valley real estate expert, and I can't wait to help you find your place in Boise. I will see you in the next video.